Well, my friends, welcome to another episode of the Date Your Wife podcast. And we have a remix happening on today's episode. I'll tell you why. Because the first show we did with this amazing power couple was so hot, it burned up the audios. And we're not looking at that as a technical error. Ray and Jessica Higdon are back for the second time.
We did it on purpose because we just wanted to hang out with you guys again.
That's right. That's right.
That's what we thought.
Keep calling us back.
There was too much. There was too much heat in the last show, too much truth. Or you even said this before the show, maybe there was a different message
Yeah.
that was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
What do you think? Different message?
I think that there are no accidents, so we'll see.
right.
We'll see how this goes.
Exactly. Well, we got backup mics on top of the backup mics on top of the backup mics. Matt's got us on lock. All right, perfect. So we are going to start with the question. I've already asked you this question before because we did this episode before, but they didn't get to hear it. So who saw who first and who met who first? Like who made? I actually remember the whole story right now, but let's see if it comes out the same this time.
Right? Like, is it going to come
Yeah.
out the same? I feel like you should start.
Oh, I
this
start.
one.
Okay. So it was 18 years ago, I believe. 18 years ago. And I had been in real estate for multiple years and had just got my butt kicked. So this was right when real estate was going down and I had lost everything. I had gone through a divorce. I was in personal foreclosure at the time. And my buddy worked at a life insurance company and said, hey, you should come in and try to get these guys to hire you for marketing. And I'm like, sure, because at that point, I'll try anything to make money. And then he also added, and there's a really cute secretary. And I'm like, okay, great, bonus. And so I go in and I see her and she's amazing. She's incredible. And I was just in a really weird space because I got married very early.
How old were you when you got married the first time?
I got married at 19.
Oh, wow.
19.
And I had been, married for 6 years, and I had gotten engaged fairly quickly after that. Got with someone, got engaged, got disengaged, and so I'd never really been single since like 19. And I was in a bad place. I was drinking a lot, drinking heavily. I'm not setting this up very good, but when I saw her, I'm like, wow, that's she's pretty amazing. And so we started seeing each other here and there, and I just at the time I was dating around, but I just couldn't stop thinking about her. I just loved being there. And then one day, we were partying fairly hard back then. A lot of tequila was.
I mean, I'm what, like 118 pounds maybe, and I think at one point we had like between the two of us 21 tequila shots or something. Like I don't even know how we did it. Like,
it was game on. Yeah.
21 each?
Well, I know one night. I don't know why I counted, but one night I had 17. I don't know why I counted that, but
maybe to share it right now.
But but she went into work, so I'm trying to figure things out at home on the internet and trying to internet market and everything, and she's going into work to this life insurance company, and so she was not feeling good at all, and so she goes in one day, and I love gifts. I love surprises. I love being romantic. I love doing stuff. And I had done that with other relationships and never really got a not reciprocated, but never felt appreciated. Mm-hmm. And so I go in, that day that she was sick, and I bring her in soup and tea and a couple other things. And I'll never forget it. I can still picture it today. She sees what I've done. She stands up. She starts crying. And I had never seen this kind of gratitude ever in my life, and I was just, that's it, man. That's it.
Had you guys hooked up yet or no? Prior to the soup?
We had, yeah.
I don't remember. I'm gonna go with I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's a Phil.
I kind of fast forwarded that story.
With 21 shots.
I mean, if she can react that with a soup, like, is it the same reaction if it's a Chanel?
Same exact reaction. No, I mean, on the other side, from my perspective, like nobody had ever actually thought about me that way before. And he's to this day like super acts of service. That's his love language, and it's so beautiful. And when I first saw him come into the office, I don't know, for women, sometimes you just know, like, it doesn't make sense. He was older than me, had 2 boys.
I'm still older.
He's
Still older.
He's still older than me. Has 2 older boys, you know, which they're amazing kids. But at the time I was young, you know, so I had 2 kids older than me, partying his face off, you know, just, and going through all this stuff. It didn't make sense, but in my spirit, I just knew, I think this is it. Like, this is the guy I'm going to marry.
What's your age difference?
11.
11 years?
11
Yeah,
years.
so we're
Now
7.
it's not a big deal, but
Yeah.
back at the
then.
time.
How old were you when you met?
20.
Oh, so you were like a baby. Yeah. Yeah, back then, that's like super taboo. Yeah.
Especially with 2 kids, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. What did your parents think about you hanging out with Ray?
Well, they knew better than to tell me everything they thought, because I was just that person. You know, if you told me not to date him, I would date him more. But I think they were concerned, you know, because he was older and didn't know exactly what he wanted from me. I think any parent would think the same way. So
Yeah.
I met Garrett when I was 18. He was 25. And my mom flat out said, like, there's a lot of fish in the sea. Keep going, honey. I was like, oh. And then I go, don't worry, Mom. Like, it's not serious. We're just having fun.
that's so
And then
funny.
22 years later. But back then, I remember thinking the same thing. He had a kid.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? Like,
Yeah.
But I kind of same thing. I was like, no, like.
I think about it now. I mean, I would be the same way. I could have been an 18-year-old. If my daughter started dating a 25-year-old who was divorced with a kid, I'd be like,
What do you want?
bro,
Yeah.
For sure.
bro, what's going on right now? Come on, let's have a talk.
Yeah.
Which I get it. But it's interesting now, like the age gap thing is becoming even bigger.
Yeah.
Like now we're like normal.
Yeah.
Our gap is like normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
Now you
You're
got like
right.
25-year
Yeah.
gaps happen,
Yeah,
30-year
it's
gaps
crazy.
happening.
Yeah.
Which is much different. Okay, so he doesn't have shit going for him at all when you meet him. Is that when you got the tattoos?
I got these in high school.
Okay, that was prior. That was
Had
prior
these a long
too.
time. Yeah.
Oh, I think since we've talked, I've been to your high school reunion since
Yes.
then. So I got some real
Oh, you got some
details
intel.
on
Yeah.
his,
Well, give us one of the details you found out from high school.
He made his, I want to say, sophomore teacher cry and quit her job.
I wasn't a good kid.
He
Yeah.
wasn't at
I was a
all.
rough kid. Yeah.
Dealt drugs,
Yeah.
skipped school, fell asleep in class, wrestled alligators.
No.
No,
No, that was my buddy trying to get you to wrestle alligators
Oh, okay.
at the reunion.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, I know the question was,
Yeah, we got him.
Wait, what was the
That's a-
question?
Now I
that's a
need
good
to know,
list.
where did you go to high school where they're wrestling alligators?
Cape Coral, Florida.
yeah.
Okay. They actually have alligators there?
Oh yeah.
All around it?
over. Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Have you actually wrestled an alligator?
I have not wrestled an alligator now. My buddy was trying to get her. He's like, let's go wrestle. So,
Yeah, I'm not doing that wrestle alligator thing.
Yeah,
Okay, so I've come back to the point though. Like you had to have seen or felt something in this guy, because what it sounds like is we got a checklist of why I should run away.
correct.
What talk about what was? I mean, listen, I didn't have shit going on either. Like I was divorced. I
Yeah.
have a career. I didn't know what I was doing. I was
He had
serving
like
restaurants.
a piece of shit car, like was literally serving at restaurants. Like my mom's like, no, really, like
No, really. There's
I mean,
plenty of
there was
fish
not
in
a
the
lot
sea.
of good. I was not a high value stock. I was a penny stock.
Yep.
Very similar, raised a penny stock. So what were you feeling back then at 20? Like describe what the feelings were like, even though all this evidence is stacked that this is probably not
Yeah.
a path I should take. I was stacked evidence why Danielle should not have chosen me either. But you felt something. Talk about that.
Yeah. So out of all, and I wasn't super experienced at 20 years old, but out of all the other boys or men that I had dated, he was by far the most honest and by far the most sincere. And you just knew that he was going to be something special, that there was something within him. Like I just saw it. I just saw that he had this drive in him. I knew all of these situations and circumstances were temporary because of who he was as a person. And who he was as a person, again, was driven, sincere, cared about people's feelings, very intuitive, could help people through what they were going through. And people like that, just if they follow those gifts, they don't just end up being nothing.
Right.
They become
I think women too, like we see the potential of like our men before they do even.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I'm not worried that you're in this spot right now. Like even for Garrett, I would tell my mom all the time, I'm like, it doesn't matter what he chooses to do, he'll be successful at whatever it is. Because at the time he wanted to be he was going to college to be a football coach. And I was like, yeah, but if that's his route, he'll probably go like college level, you know, like whatever, like I'm not worried about it. But I think that women, we kind of see the potential, but it's also our job, or not our job, but I feel like it's our responsibility to kind of like pull that out of them.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. And he treated me really well. I mean, we definitely had our moments for sure. But he always treated me very respectfully.
Okay, so the ring on your finger, you guys both cashed in. You guys cashed in on a stock that you invested in a long time. It was like getting into Bitcoin before it was cool.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
you were
right.
the Bitcoin
I tell
investors.
him that every day.
The miners. Well, it's like I look at a lot of relationships today, and everybody, there's so many people that want to have like what you two have created in 18 years, they want to have now.
Yeah.
What we've created in 22 years, they want to have now. Right. So they think that somehow I can replace this shitty situation, and I'm going to have this now. But you're not. You're going to go through all of the same things at a different level. And the hard part too with a lot of single guys I meet here in Miami is like they're getting married at like 45, 48 to girls like 15, 18, 20 years younger than them. And there's a constant worry and concern that you two and we don't have, which is this thing happening because I have money?
That's right.
We know. I didn't have shit. You didn't have shit. Neither one of us knew what we were doing with ourselves, and both of you chose us.
Yep.
And that's becoming less and less a thing because of people not only being able to create that condition, but also this feeling. So how far into the relationship did the full story come out with you guys? Where like life starts happening, business is happening, kids are happening, and then 5, 6, 7 years into marriage, things get interesting. 10 years in.
Two together, right?
We do.
Yeah. What are their ages again?
6 and almost 10.
Okay.
I mean, I can just say that I truly believe the 7-year itch is a thing. So I think it was about 7 years where I remember like we would wake up in the morning and just kind of see each other and be like not even say hi to each other. Like we weren't even excited to see each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely went through an identity crisis, you know, at the height of it for I think when it really started was probably around 7 years, but I had, you know, set all these different goals and hit them, you know, Inc. 5000, best-selling author, share the stage with pretty much everybody. And I thought that would make me feel a certain way, and it just didn't. And so I knew something was missing, but I didn't know what it was. And so I just started trying different things. I tried therapy, I tried hypnosis, did meditation for 2 years, and not all of that stuff did actually help. I mean, I think it did help.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the answer, you know.
Right.
And then in 2022, you know, both of us came to Christ, and you know, things really changed for us.
When you guys started feeling the drift happen? I mean, we probably gone through, probably 6 or 7 drifts. Pretty significant.
Like 4.
Four? Okay, 4 to 7 in the range somewhere. I don't know. I'm just making that number up. I know that we've had several moments like that. What did you guys start seeing as the signs where the disconnect would start to happen? Like what were some things that started happening for you two as a couple? Because like people get blindsided by this shit happening, and it doesn't just happen once. It can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen in a couple months if you're not careful.
I think it happens multiple times in a marriage when you're both at a place where you want to grow.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to get this place like, why are we in this weird disconnected space? I think it's because we're called to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it came from both of our childhoods being so different. And kids teach you so much, right? They're there to teach us. So having kids, we definitely saw a drift in how parenting should be. We definitely saw a drift in money based on our past and our different fears or lack of fears or nonchalantness around money. And Ray started having all of these things show up as a dad because of his childhood and what he went through. He had a lot of things showing up as a dad that I didn't understand because I hadn't been through quote unquote childhood trauma, like literal physical trauma. And so I didn't even know that that's what that was. I thought he was just not fulfilling my needs, not fulfilling our kids' needs, not being there like he should. Like all these things played out in my mind. Like, okay, like why are other dads like this and you're like this? Or why are other husbands doing this and you're like this? And that's not a good place for a wife to be. It's a terrible place to compare yourself to other relationships. Everybody's so different, and you can heal from that. You just have to come together and work through it.
I don't think there's a woman that hasn't gone through that, or a man in marriage. Right? And particularly now with social media, is a fucking nightmare.
Sure.
Because now it's 24/7 comparison about everything. Where did you take me on a trip? What did you buy me? What did you do this? Da, 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 da. When this started, were you able to talk about that in the beginning with him,
No.
or was it just inside you?
No.
Well, I didn't understand it because, like, she would, say things to me, and I would just take them as, oh, she's challenging me, and so everything was a negative criticism, and I didn't understand that it's actually in a good woman's nature to challenge her man to make him better, and so she was trying to make me better, not bring me down, but I kept taking it as bringing it down. So she would come in, she would back off, I would blow up, and then just dealing with my own issues of me being back in childhood, of not being important, not being heard, and so I would just shut up, and we'd have 2 days of silence. And it wasn't until I learned, oh, that's her actually trying to help me. That's her trying to support me in the most powerful way to make me the best version of myself. And I did not get that for many years.
About when did that race start shifting for you? When did you? Because bro, listen, I get 100%. I was constantly in a game with her where I felt like everything she fucking said was critical.
Yeah.
Like she would say something, and she would think she was not thinking it was critical, but everything I heard was,
Yeah.
you're not enough. You're not showing up.
Yes.
You're not getting it done. Nothing you do matters. You're a piece of shit. I should have married somebody else. That's not what she was saying, but everything she would speak to me, that's how I received it. And I had a ton of childhood shit too, from sexual abuse to like tons of betrayal to like all these fucking situations that were like coming up for me with all the kids and the pressure. So I would do the same thing. We would isolate, and I would turn her into a piece of furniture. Like I would emotionally unplug in my wound, put up a wall, then she'd put up a wall, and then we'd walk around these two walls up. And then I would start to feel sexually desired. I'd want to have sex, and then it'd feel weird. And then I'd come back and kind of this weird guilt, pouty thing back, like, hey, me and little guy over here needing a little love.
Like, oh, are you sorry about that meltdown you had there?
And then I'm feeling bad because I said some shit, and then she's like, and then it was just awkward. So like, at what point did you figure it out? And then Jessica, from your side, when do you think he actually got it? Because there's when we think we got it, and then there's when you guys confirm we got it.
Yeah. There's another interesting dynamic to it in that she had, her mom had been pretty well off to having a breakdown, losing everything, borrowing from everyone, and just being in a very, very tough financial situation. And so when we first started dating, I'm broke. She's paying my utility bills. And once we started making money, I'm like, oh, cool, but it seemed like she got more stressed. Like the more money we made, the more stress. So I'd be working in the office, and she'd peek in and say, hey, the bank account's down. And I'm like, okay. Like to me, that's like, you're not working hard enough.
Yeah.
Like you aren't a man. Like what's wrong with you? So I'd work harder, and then she'd peek in and be like, you seem stressed out. I'm like, yeah, I'm stressed out. and so it was this weird thing, and we had to have that conversation. And it turns out that she had, a program that the more money we made, the more likely it might go away. And so it was a triggering thing. So we had that dynamic, plus I didn't understand that she was chastising me. So in 2020, right when COVID started, like I had to make some very big shifts. I had 10 speaking engagements canceled right away, and just everything changed. And I decided to go in a very different direction. In 2020, I think at that point, probably for 7 years straight, I dropped $100,000 or more a year in my education, mentorships, masterminds, worked with Cardone, worked with Russell Brunson, worked with a whole bunch of rock stars. And I just went in a very different direction, and hired different people like to try to heal me and see what the hell's wrong with me, and that's when I started to understand what she was actually doing, and that she was really standing for me, not against me. But it probably took till 2022, maybe, I would think, that I really got that. And I still have moments where I'm like, oh, she challenged me, and but no, I think we're a lot better.
Jessica, when do you think you got it?
Like a year ago.
I like it.
I think,
So
again,
yesterday.
all that stuff I think really helped and at least helped us communicate better. But I feel like I can bring him anything and he won't take it so personally anymore. We can talk through it, because before I felt like I would, and a lot of that is God just revealing that to him and giving him the revelation of, and maybe you want to share that story, maybe not, but giving him the revelation of he had to break him to a point where he would love himself enough and love himself enough, not only for a lot of things, but to communicate with his wife effectively, because I was saying those things out of love for our family, not out of discouragement towards him.
Yeah.
And there was that time that we mentioned where I would just be walking on eggshells, and I just felt like there was a point where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to walk on eggshells. I don't want to be tiptoeing around. And that breeds a lack of trust. Also, if I can't talk to you about money, if I can't talk to you about these important things that go into relationship, then I can't trust you to steward it and to handle it. And for women, trust is everything. So I now feel like, from the different revelations that he's had, and I'm so grateful that he's the type of man that wants to get better, because I couldn't force him to do these things. He had to want it on his own. I'm sure it's very similar for you. Like,
Very similar.
She couldn't force you to want these things. It doesn't work that way. Then it's just like nagging and like, you should be doing this. And I had to step back and let him just figure that out on his own. And I'm so grateful that he's the man that he is and did that, because now I can go to him with anything and I don't feel like it's going to be taken the wrong way or turned into something that it's not. We can talk through it and create a solution from it, which is what marriage is all about.
So notice the dynamic, and we watch this happen at Wake Up Warrior all the time too. Is our guys will come into process and they'll start to work through their stuff, and then around us, we're like, "Bro, you are winning. You're the best you've ever been." And then they're wondering why 6 months to a year into the work they're doing, just like, yeah, I think it was about 2022, and then Jessica's like, that was about a year ago. Same thing with me. I'm like, I feel like I'm like making huge leaps and bounds, and then her feedback is like, no, you're not even there yet, and I'm like. So it leaves guys in a very confusing place.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll go the other direction. Like, can you share all of your shit with her? Like, are you guys at that point now where you feel safe enough as a man to share all of your vulnerable pain with her?
I think so.
I feel like you don't share a lot of things that
I don't know. I mean, I've really, over the last, especially the last 2 years, 2 years ago, I was in prayer and I was very frustrated. My oldest son wasn't talking to me. I had just lost like $3 million in investments, big hotel expense. Like, it's just things were just punching me in the face, and I'm frustrated. I'm in prayer and I'm like, God, what's going on, man? And I had to keep breaking you so you would keep searching and find the need to love yourself. That's what I got. Like, that, those aren't my words. I don't know what that even means at the time. And so I'm like, what's that mean? And so he revealed to me about 2 weeks later that I had this process that at the end of every night, I would do an audit of my day and find one thing to beat myself up about. Either I ate a cupcake, or I screwed up a sales call, or I would find something, no matter how good the day was. And so that began the process of me. When I encounter anything, any situation, I'm not looking at the situation. I don't care about the situation. I don't care if it's a lawsuit, diagnosis. I don't care. It's not the situation. I look to God. And I'm just asking God, what am I to do about this? What are we doing about this? What am I to learn from this? And so I just don't have that stuff anymore. Like when we got rescheduled for this, I just thought, well, either we're supposed to share something else, or we're supposed to grow closer, or both. There wasn't a negative like, oh man, I got to drive 2 hours again. There was none of that. And so I don't think I have a lot of negativity to share anymore. I don't think.
No, it's not negativity, just growth, But
there
But
was.
do you feel like you would be opposed to sharing something with me that is bothering you or that we need to work through?
I've shared stuff. I mean, over the last 2 years, we had, there was some challenging times. There's some different challenges we've had that I shared with you.
Yeah.
And so
I think the hard part, if you look at this from a guy's perspective, because this is a challenge, and girls, I want to hear from both of you on this one. The message is to men, we want to know your truth. Share with us your truth, right? But here's the challenge that guys run into, common challenges. Maybe you guys figured this out. That's why I'm putting it out there, and we'll see. There's only a certain amount of weight that I carry that I feel as a man I can actually put on your shoulders to feel. Because if you dealt with the weight I carry every day and I actually told you the pressure I'm facing and I actually was fully, like if Ray and I are going out, I'm like, fuck this, Ray. And I'm telling him this and he's like, I know. He doesn't say fuck anymore. He's got the Jesus. So I got the Jesus and the fuck. I'll say fuck for both of us. And I'm like, I'm pouring it out and you're like, I know. And we can take the weight like, fuck those guys. That $3 million, what the, we like can go up.
Yeah.
But for me to try to come home to her, it's weird. So the trap guys get into is we will share shot glasses of truth with you because something in us, either a lie, could be a lie that we've been taught, could be, I'm totally open it's a lie. But the story is you can't handle the pressure and weight of what I carry every day. My job is to carry that, so I'm not going to tell you. So when you hear like the heaviness, particularly around money, was a topic. That's a hard one.
Yep.
Right? And the weight of it, because we built and then I lost everything. So we walked. I built again. I got off track. I was addicted to feel-free tonics. I was in a different state of being. I was off track.
Yeah.
She could see signs of when I'd lost my first empire, of what was coming a year later if I didn't change. But even in that situation, I wasn't still telling her everything. So, Danielle, you first, and then Jessica, like, share what, from the female perspective, like, what things you actually want to hear.
Sometimes you, like, it's important that you share, but sometimes even when you don't share, like, based on, like, how you're doing mentally and physically, I'm like, this is too heavy for him. And I want you to feel like you're in a space that you can share with me. I think for us, like, I'll ask you things about the business or whatever, and you have a story where you're like, I don't want to put too much pressure on you, or I don't want to put too much weight on you. But I'm like, but I can already see the weight that you're experiencing, so like, let me be a part of it. So,
How much though? And I think that's the question for both of you. Is like, how much of the weight do you want to really feel? Because there's moves as entrepreneurs we're making at times where we're about to hard pivot around a corner.
I don't need
and
to know.
we know that going around this corner is unknown. We have some security over here, and sometimes we have no security over here. We're just like, I'm betting on myself on this one. We're taking a hard left now. And then trying to come back home at night with the kids and pretend like we didn't just pull a hard fucking left today, and our phone's not blowing up with people who are on that ship that just turned left and 5 of them just fell off. And we know we've got to head true north this way. Like, this is a serious question. Like,
I don't know if I
It's a
need to
great
know
question.
the details. I'd just be like, I mean, if you're like, babe, we lost everything tomorrow. I mean, I appreciate if you'd tell me that.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're like, hey, I decided to go this way, we're going to be fine. And you give me like the security of like, hey, my life's going to be a little bit of a shit show for the next month. It's going to be chaotic. I have events, I have this, but this is the direction I feel like we need to go. So like, you don't have to tell me every little detail, but I don't know. I feel like I would want to know like why you're so stressed out.
We definitely know that we always know that when there's something going on, and you think we don't, but we do. We see it instantly the moment you walk through the door. We know. We can tell you.
How do you see it on Ray? When he comes in, you know he's carrying, or he's in his head trying to build and fix shit in his head.
Yeah. He's in his head. He's just it's a different energy. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Completely different energy. So we already know. What we want to hear is, hey, there's some stuff going on, but I'm going to get us through it. That's what we want to hear. We want to know. And also, if you feel the need to bring us in, or maybe not the need, but you feel like there's something really heavy going on and our advice would help, like, that's what we're here for too. We're here to help guide and direct the ship as well. Like, you know, what's that term from, or that line from My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Like, the man is the head, but the woman's the neck, and she turns it, you know? So we're here to support and to offer advice, and we have different intuitions, so we might see things differently than you do.
Well,
So
when we lost everything that first time, I could see like the ship sinking.
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything, and he didn't share. And so now, like, if I have an inkling, like a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, the ship is drifting. I kind of take responsibility, like, I have to speak up. Like I can see that everything's not okay, and I have to do my best to be like, hey, like we got to course correct, you know?
Yeah.
But
So along that topic, here's a question for you two. During those stress pockets, like when you're feeling like she's critical, and by the way, this, I know you guys have gotten through this. I'm trying to help because there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of couples
Everybody
who are stuck in this shit like we were.
Yeah.
And nobody was languaging this for me. So I thought we were just broken. Like I was broken, she was broken. We were the only people who were going through this. Then we find out everybody's going through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During that time, the pressure raises, sexual desire goes up for guys. Mm-hmm. But it's a different kind of sexual desire. So I just like, I'm under tons of pressure. I need to release. And then there's, I want to connect and bond with you. How can you tell the difference? Like, talk about the difference. I want you both to share the difference you feel in us as men when we're under that pressure and sex is like a desire for us, but it's more of a, I want to release. I need to fuck. Which, by the way, is 100% of dudes. Mm-hmm. Feel the pressure, sex drive goes up because creative energy is blended in there. Like the power to produce is also the power of sexuality. So it's like this blended, transmuted thing into business. How, like, talk through those two types of experiences with him, and I'll have you do the same with me. When he's under heavy pressure and sex comes up as a topic versus when you're at the Ritz-Carlton and you're having your night over. Does this question make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. So, you know, if you're in the zone and you're coming home and I know that there's something stressing you out and we haven't talked about it first, but you just want to go at it right away. I'm like, not into it at all, but I'll do it because I want to help you. That's basically
well, you're like, you know, to release some of the stress.
Yeah,
like,
really.
okay.
And I was reading a book recently about this, about women in general. Like, we need to be stimulated first and then we get in the mood.
Right.
Whereas men get in the mood and then go. So it's just different. But I'm what's the right word?
You're putting one for the
Amenable
team.
to this because I want you to release the stress. Like, I'm just amenable to it. And at the end of the day, I end up enjoying it. So for me, it's not a huge issue for us. I don't think it really has ever been. But for me personally, I do prefer like when we connect and when you're in that space of being really, really present, unless the kids are in the next room. Because we still have small children too.
Yes.
So like a lot of it is fast for us no matter what. But I prefer, you know, that presence and just stay a more getting in the mood type of space. But sometimes we don't have that luxury. So I don't really feel like it's a huge issue for me anymore. In the past it was when I didn't understand the dynamics going on with him and couldn't communicate. But now it's like.
So back when you didn't understand, because we went through that too. Like we went through for like 14 years.
Yeah.
Of not being able to communicate on it. And I constantly felt rejected.
Yeah.
So not only did I feel like I was being criticized, I feel like I was being sexually rejected. So like you add the 1-2 punch to a man, it's like not only do I feel like I'm being criticized all the time, I feel like I'm being rejected sexually. I have no release and I'm being criticized. Which again is not what the girl you were trying to tell me. But that is what I 99% of dudes interpret from their wives is not only are you not satisfying me sexually, you're telling me no, and you're telling me I'm a piece of shit and not getting it done everywhere. I don't know how to win right now. So we go into this thing.
So I think that's where you, at least for me, and maybe you have a different perspective, but at least for me, when you tell us, that's where bringing us in matters. Like if you're stressed and you got a lot going on and we are worried that you're not going to provide and we have to take on more than what we thought in that moment or what have you, it's not that we would criticize you for that. It's just we need to know. That's when I'm going to get us through this, then I'll be open to sex all day long. Like if you, at the end of the day, you're going through stuff, we're here to support you, be together as a couple. It's 100% you, 100% me. If you say, as my provider, hey, I'm going to get us through this, that's all I need to hear. And then I'm open for business. But when I don't know that and I don't know what's going on with you and you're like in your own world and I can't tell if you're stressed or mad at me or, you know, then it's very hard for women to get into that space.
So Ray, with you and then Danielle, come to your perspective on this. Go back to the stress pockets.
Yeah.
Because dude, these are like the mother death kill shots for guys.
Yeah.
You feel the pressure, but you feel the sexual tension, but you feel also the weirdness of telling her about what's going on because it might not work out what we're trying.
Yeah.
This is the part they don't get. Half the shit we're doing, we don't even know if it's going to work out.
Right. Right.
And then we have to come home and be like, I got it. And then in the back of your mind, you're like, I think I fucking got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
But I'm
tell
going
us
to put
you
on
got
the I got it so we get laid tonight. I'm going to, like, just walk through dynamics, how it shifted for you. Because and not just with the criticism, but also with the openness. Go back to what it was before.
Yeah.
And then what it's become now. Because obviously Jessica's expressing that it's become something
Yeah.
much more beautiful now.
Yeah.
Go back to the pain pocket and then come to now.
Yeah. First, it was communicating about the money thing, right? And because I'm like, well, I basically, like you said, like she is saying I'm not a man. When she says bank account's down, like you're not a man, you're not doing enough, and so of course I'm stressed out. You just said I wasn't a man, but that's not what she said.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I took it, and so I had to share that. I'm like, listen, when you do this, this is how I feel, and she's like, well, I'm not trying to make you feel that way. And so we had to first, work through that. But I very, very much remember what you're talking about feeling criticized, feeling rejected. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm feeling completely lost. I'm losing on all angles. And I just didn't know how to communicate that, but I needed sex.
Yeah.
and it just, and every rejection was just worse. And because there was a period of time where she wasn't open for business, and that was just very crushing. I understand it now. I understand it that I wasn't being connected, that I wasn't being confident. I mean, I was just messed up. I didn't know what the hell's wrong with me because I'd achieved the things I thought would make me feel better about myself, and so we just had to grow in communication, and I don't know when it made the shift. I remember one argument we were having, because a lot of this for me was when we lived downtown. Mm-hmm. Like almost all of this kind of stuff was when we lived downtown. Mm-hmm. And I remember we were in an argument, and I don't remember about what, but I had this thought that I'm not important. Mm-hmm. And I realized for the first time in my life that I've had that thought 10,000 times. And when I would have that thought, I would just shut up. And so we'd do 2 days of not talking to each other. And all of that came from my childhood, just not being important. But that day, I'm like, no, I don't want to think that way. And I felt like I was losing my mind. And so when I like took captive that thought, I'm like, I don't want to think that anymore. And I realized I've thought that 10,000 times. And I can't sleep that night. I'm up all night. Every time I close my eyes, it's like lights going up crazy, and I feel like I'm losing my mind. And so I stayed up all night, and the next morning I just like surrendered, and I said, Jess, here's what's going on. Clearly when we get into a confrontation, I think I'm not important, so I shut up. That's why this always goes down the same exact way it always does, and I'm tired of feeling that way. I don't want to feel that way anymore, and I'm sorry. And I think that may have been one of the steps toward better communication.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I think guys probably have a hard time expressing when they're in pain. So it's like finally you're like sharing your truth of like I'm like in a painful spot. I feel like I'm like going crazy, and it's not. I'm dealing with my own shit.
Yeah,
But
I think it's a weight too. It's just an interesting weight because so much of what we as men operate off of is a place of certainty as entrepreneurs in ourselves, and also respect.
Right.
So if for some reason we don't feel respected, we have to double down on our certainty.
That's right.
And you have to learn how to do that because the world wants us to fail. Every move we make, for every person that says we want you to win, there's another 10 to 15 who actually are hoping that Ray burns again.
Sure.
They feel a sense of pride. You see it all over social media. People want me to fucking lose. There are more people that want me to lose than there are people that want me to win. So this is the environment we go out in every single day. It's not a safe environment. It's a war zone. So the hard transition for us to come back, and I'm like, okay, I'm at war right now. I don't want to make the war with you, but so often the war would become with her. So I would be at war here, come home with no transition, didn't know how to transition, didn't know how to filter. So everything she was saying was still interpreted through the war lens.
Yeah.
So then we would be at war, and the same thing would happen. We went through this loop over and over again, but same like you coming back to it, I had to come to a truth in me, which was I'm not wrong as a man for wanting to have sex and connect with my wife.
Right.
Like sex is something I need and desire.
Yeah.
But I had been so scarred from 3 years of sexual abuse from my uncle losing my virginity at 15 to a girl who was 21 while she drugged me. All this shit had happened to me as a kid where I was like, sex for me was such a fucking nuclear topic. Like, I didn't know how to dance around it. So it was easier for me to just, we went almost 10 years, I didn't initiate one time. Which, of course, didn't work. Wow. I just shut it off. I was like, I'm fucking done. Not gonna try. Whenever she's ready, I'll be here.
I don't know if you did not initiate for 10 years.
Almost 10.
It was a stretch.
Almost 10. And then I even got to a point where she would come at me during those dry spells of like 2 weeks, and I would reject her.
It was like, I'll show you. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you see how that feels?
Yeah.
You see how that feels? I've been dealing with that for 10 years.
Back then, though, like to answer your question, like I think it was around the time when we had kind of lost everything that I feel like it exposed our marriage.
Yeah.
Like we had the house and the Range Rovers and the cars, and then the market crashed and we lost everything. And I was like, I don't know who you are or if I even like you.
Yeah.
And I had just had my second daughter, Ruby, and she, like literally, like I was pregnant with her, and I think even though our relationship wasn't good, I had so much purpose in having children.
Yeah.
And I thought a second baby will fix where we're at. And then when we lost everything, it exposed everything where we were at. And I think the reality is like the first like 10 years we were having kids and building life together, we forgot to stay connected. We forgot to communicate. And so although he was like, I need sex, I was like, I don't even know if you like me as your wife. That's how I'm feeling. I'm like, do you see me? Like, we weren't going on dates, or we'd go to dinner, but like it wasn't like we stopped dating.
Yeah.
Like we stopped connecting. We stopped having conversations. We like when you're dating, you build a foundation of communication. That's what like really brings you together. And so we had like lost that, and we were just kind of roommates with 2 kids. So it was just, and for women, like when we don't feel like we're appreciated and seen, we're, at least for me, I'm like physically not attracted to you.
Yeah.
If we're connected, I'm like, ooh, he's cute. Like it's different. There's that chemistry. So it's kind of, and then when we lost everything, it made it worse because he was walking around in like barefoot, mala beads, hippie phase, and he didn't even like himself during those years. Yeah. So I'm like, you want me
I was trying to learn how to love myself.
Yeah, but I was like, he went from like this confident speaker, mortgage guy to like walking barefoot and making no money, and I was like, you don't even like yourself right now.
Yeah,
trying to find myself.
That's the difference too. Like,
been there.
Also how you show up, right? Like with that masculine energy and that feminine energy, you know, that makes a huge difference. And when women have kids, it is like we process the whole world so differently. Mm-hmm. So for you guys, you process us the same. And for us, we focus in on those babies, and it just, our nature and nurture takes over, and we can't focus on multiple things at once in that moment. So like when the kids are in the next room, for me to get into the mood is like really, really hard. So we process that differently. So when those babies come out, it's like, okay, for our husbands, I think we're second in command or first in command, right? Like in the household. But for us, it's like, okay, we've got to make sure these things stay alive, right? We've got these babies in front of us, and then we can focus on your needs, right? So it's just a different processing of information.
I have a question for you though. Because here's the thing, and I get what you're saying, because there's times with toddlers, and I'm like, I know you're stressed out. I'm like, we literally have 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And the TV is on, they've got iPads, we have 4 minutes. I'm like, I can't get into it, but I'm here for you.
Exactly.
And he'll be like, he wants me to get into it. I'm like, babe, I can't. My brain is thinking about toddlers.
Totally.
I'm so sorry.
Like, are they hearing this? Like,
I'm like, so, but then my question for you is like, then there's sometimes like, do you still want to take one for the team? We call it like. No,
I actually have gotten to a new season where I don't even want Cookie.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't even want him. I decided I would rather build it up and deliver a kill shot. Nice. Like just store it, because I used to like that. That was the case. Like, and I felt like that became too much of what the game was, and I was like, I'm gonna build more sexual tension here. Now I can't build too much sexual tension because then it's like overwhelming. But the piece I don't even think about, it was like a month and a half ago. It was a Sunday afternoon, and you're like, hey, we got about 15 minutes. And I was like, 15? How about 20? You're like, you got 15. Let's go. So we got into it a bit, and then she was getting into it with me. And then I had moved the chair in the master bedroom to block the door because the lock's not working.
Oh, man.
But I've never tested that if you could push the door or not. I just assumed you couldn't push the door.
Assume a toddler can't push a chair.
So she's finally into it about 7-8 minutes in. We're having a great time. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. We're going 20 minutes, maybe 30. The kids are fine. They might fall in the pool, but they know how to swim. They're fine. Like, I'm not worried about any of that. I'm like, I put them in swim training for a reason. Yeah. And we're sitting there. Blankets are off, just us two, naked in the bed. And my 3-year-old has pushing the door open, pushes the chair away. Easily moved by a 3-year-old, by the way. Horrible strategy.
Yes,
no testing done by part at all.
Right.
And she's standing in the doorway looking at us. And she's like,
God.
Mom, Dad. We both are looking at each other, and I'm like, and my mind is trying to calculate how to quickly get her out of there so we can finish.
Right. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're like, there's no way.
I'm
Yeah.
like, where's the dart? Shoot her with the dart gun. Shoot her. I'm like, Charlie, go away. So then it gets worse. She gets off, and we come to try to coordinate the 3-year-old. We're both naked. We're like grabbing a blanket, trying to move her out. So I get an idea that we push her out the door, and then we shut the door, and then I'm going to grab that heavy table and pull the heavy table over. What I didn't know about the heavy table was the heavy table had a vase on it, and the heavy table was not attached to the legs.
We're just sitting there.
It's just a slab of rock. So I'm strong, and I grab the slab of rock right off the top of the stand. The legs stay, the top goes, the vase falls, shatters everywhere. Baby's still in the hall, we're still naked, and I'm like, my brain is still thinking, how can you sweep all this shit up real quick? Right?
I was like, we're done.
I was like, I have not
Not
finished.
happening.
Yeah.
This is going to happen.
That's awesome.
So Danielle, did you finish?
you
I
came
finished
back.
cleaning up the glass. Is what I did.
But this piece, like this topic of sex in marriage is so, you guys seem very comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
With each other.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, but most couples, this is not a comfortable conversation.
Yeah.
It turns into a fight almost every time.
Yeah.
Like we were sitting with 50 of our guys last week, and I was like one by one pulling dudes up. All of them are going through the same thing. They don't know how to, every time they try to communicate about sexuality with their wife, it turns into a fight. She either gets offended, he gets offended, etc. When you guys go back to when it was tougher and you weren't as open in this communication, what would have had to have changed back then? And the same question for you and I, Danielle, because we now can talk about pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And I'm in a calmer place where I can hear anything she's saying. I don't think it's criticism. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I get her. Yeah, I can see how she feels that way. I get what she's really trying to say. What would have had to have shifted back then, specifically for you two, so that you felt seen and heard while you were in the pressure, you could communicate then that now easily flows? Like what are maybe one thing, Jessica, from your side, could he have done back then besides the shutting down part?
So I honestly think it goes back to like stepping into the masculine energy, right? Like everything that your brand stands for. Because he had performed, quote unquote, with things and money, but I still felt like he wasn't fulfilled. I still felt like I was his only fulfillment, if that makes sense. And so when we as women, or really anybody, if you feel like you're that person's only purpose, fulfillment, you get this like clingy nature almost like of, oh my gosh. And I didn't realize that this had stemmed from trauma also in his past, because he couldn't trust people. And so I was like literally the only person in his life that he trusted, wanted to be close to. And so I felt smothered in a way.
Yes.
And at the same time, he felt completely rejected, which caused him to want to almost like smother me more. And
Right.
and so since then, there's just been with that communication, been a complete shift of that energy. And so I'm now open for business.
You
for lack
have
of
hit
better
a topic. We're going to pause real quick and cut this out. Jesse, can you do me a favor?
My nanny's trying to get the
Can you back
Lincoln
the
out,
G-Wagon
and
out
the
so that my
G-Wagon's
nanny can
blocking
take
it.
the Navigator? I forgot I parked behind her. Thanks, brother. I know you came all the way from Texas just to do that. Okay, you kind of missed what she was saying because you were stressed about the kids. What you just nailed, that's it. That's it. The thing you just did, because it's exactly what she felt. That's it. But we don't. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more with you too, because I'm the same way. Most dudes. So you're regal, beautiful, stunning, powerful. My wife, same thing, right? You come with a very controlled, like regal oracle energy. So does Danielle. Most high-producing entrepreneurs who tend to be crazy, like Ray and I, big
Yes.
creatives, go, go, go. We are drawn to the
more
still calming presence. The unfortunate part is this is a very direct presence too, which means it's completely offensive to us.
Yes.
He's literally
We're
said
totally
that.
drawn to it and horribly offended at the same time.
Yes.
I can't get enough of you, and I can't believe I'm with you. I just had a woman who touched me all the time and spoke greatness into my life, and you're like, yeah, that's not coming. You need to fix this. And I'm like,
Yes.
So you nailed it, though. You felt smothered. But you backed that up with what you said, too, which was critical because I couldn't see this, and I was doing it to her, too. I didn't really have any friends. I had lots of clients, lots of dudes. But Danielle was like, I wanted her. So I was so confused why pouring all my energy into her had her actually feel pressure and smothered.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it. Talk about it from your side, because Jessica just laid this out too, because you felt this, you language it in a way and I've not heard somebody language it. It was the lead up to his only outlet and desire was you.
Yeah, it makes you feel like I'm responsible for your happiness.
Yeah.
And I can't be responsible for your happiness, and that's so much pressure to where you would feel like smothered. You're like, I'm going to give you everything I know how to, but in the end, like, you're going to have to love yourself, and I can't be that for you. So,
Yeah.
but
I felt like I was dying. Like I didn't understand this. I was so confused. I was like, hold up, I give you maximum love and energy and you don't feel loved, you feel smothered and too much pressure. I'm like, this doesn't compute, because out in our world out here, if Ray and I do this out here, we get paid.
Right.
We do the same behavior out here, we get paid, praised, trophies, championships. So to me, and maybe not for you, but it sounds like we're kind of the same. I couldn't understand. I was like, from 6 to 5 p.m. today, I did this, and I won. I do this here, and I lose. Out here, they say, please give me more pressure. Out here, we say, you're smothering me. She would literally say this. To the point, I would cuddle with her in bed. She would feel so smothered. I would put my part of my quad on her quad, and she's like, I'm like, what? I can't breathe. I was like, son, when are your fucking lungs?
Twice my size.
When are your lungs and your thighs? Like, your lungs are up here. You can breathe. You're like, no, it's just too much. I'm like,
I don't do that anymore, but
Yeah.
but then my
there was a
response
period.
was always horrible, which is I would like, fine. Like I would like shut down and push her away and like, did you do the same thing?
Yeah. And I figured out why a few years ago. When I was in the third grade, I had a teacher that knew something was going on. I wasn't sexually abused; I was physically abused, up until 12. And my third grade teacher had me start meeting with a guidance counselor, which I didn't understand why, but okay, it was someone to talk to because I never talked to anybody. And I couldn't go to anyone's house, no one was allowed to come over, and so I start trusting this guidance counselor. And then one day I show up, and it's her, my stepmom, and my dad, and she proceeds to tell him everything I've ever told her because she thought it was too outrageous and that I just need more attention at home. And so that set a program. I didn't know it at the time, but it set a program of, if I trust someone, they're going to betray me. And so she was the only one I trusted. And when I learned that programming, I remember the first time I shared it. I was on stage in New Orleans, and a client came up to me who I liked and said, wow, that makes so much sense. I thought you just didn't like me. And I thought about how many thousands of people think I just don't like them because I've kept them all at bay. And so it just gave me, and I had a coach that helped me through it back then. And he said, you can still be betrayed. You know that, right? I'm like, well, yeah. And he goes, well, what would be the result? And I'm like, I don't know. He goes, well, it'd be their loss. I'm like, oh, yeah. And so, but at the time, I didn't fully get that. And so she was the one I trusted. The one I fully trusted wasn't accepting my advances, wasn't accepting what I'm attempting to do here. So now there's no one, and I'm just by myself. And so.
Jessica, did you know he was feeling that way then?
No. I for some reason, his trauma didn't even factor into the equation. Like I couldn't even see it because I hadn't been through that. It was actually one of our really good friends for our daughter who was having some behavioral issues at home. She's a behavioral psychologist, and she works with DCF. So she's seen the worst of the worst, horrible stuff. And she's helped us so much. And she told me one day, she goes, Jess, I was telling her some things going on. She said, you realize that Ray's been through trauma, right? And I'm like, well, yeah. And she goes, no, like legitimate trauma. You realize that is affecting him right now. And she just kind of laid it all out for me of certain behaviors that happened throughout our marriage that I didn't even realize it had come from that place. And it doesn't mean that you don't change them. It doesn't mean that you just look over them and say, well, it's just from trauma, so he's going to keep doing them. But he wanted to change them. So it was just being aware. That awareness was so huge for our marriage.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing for us. I mean, my abuse as a kid, I just locked it away.
Yeah.
And then what happened to me at 15, which was like an awkward deal. You're like, what are you going to do as a dude? Like, I lost my virginity at 15 to a 21-year-old while I had a girlfriend, and she drugged me on MDMA, which I'd never taken drugs at the time. I didn't know. It was weird because in both situations, there was actual good sexual feelings. As fucked up as it is as a kid, you're confused. Sure. You're like 4, 5, 6 years old. You're like having feelings, but it's all bastardized and wait. So I got to a place with her. Like, I didn't even know how to show up. Yeah. My first marriage was a fucking train wreck. I didn't even know how. So I was like, I had like learned it's unsafe. And the more she didn't understand what I was going through, and the more she felt rejected by me, because then I would go isolated for weeks and weeks at a time and just like suffer by myself, to this point of just like getting so much work on me. That's why when you said coming back to the love yourself part, that sounded super gay to me forever. I was like, love yourself. What is this love yourself bullshit? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But the same thing that happened to you with the power of Christ happened to me in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So here's the fun question, Jess. You ready? It's coming to you too. When he comes to the bedroom, fatigued and taking, like the desires to have sex, guys do this too. We're fatigued, we need you to fill us up. Fill us up. Versus he comes full to the bedroom, filling you up. Talk about the difference between those two different sexual experiences with you two. I don't need details. I'm just like, what's the I mean, if you want to go details, that's great.
Is this now?
Like what, and I'm gonna come to you the same question, because I'm very aware that as a man, I do this. There's times where I'm coming, it sounds weird to say I'm taking, I'm like, I'm hollow, I need you to fill me up. Versus I'm full, I love myself, I'm full, I'm good. I'm here to fill up and connect with you. Is this making sense what I'm saying?
Totally.
Okay, what's it like for you when you've had, like emotionally as a woman, those two different sides of receiving Ray from I need you to give me versus I'm here to give you?
It's just a different level of attraction for sure. That word you used, unsafe, like we never want you to feel unsafe. That's not attractive to us. We want you to be our safety net, right? So when you feel filled up, in your words, and you come with that energy, for me at least, it's a completely different level of attraction. And I feel like you've always been really good at that anyway, because you're acts of service in every way. So he's always been really good at that part in the bedroom, I would say. But there's definitely been those moments, and I'm sure there's been moments where I've been unattractive too. Although I don't know if that works for guys or not, because
you've never been unattractive.
No, there's definitely moments where I'm like, really, you want it now?
Yeah, you got. That's what I told Danielle. She's like, I was like, baby, listen, 105, 115, 125, 135, 145. I'm down. Pregnant breasts, I'm down. Like, you look hot all the time. She was like, no, I don't. I was like, no. Genuinely, when a guy chooses a woman, he's
That's
like,
right.
Yeah, that looks good. And then like you feel like shit, and you don't like how you look, and we're like, you don't look bloated. What are you talking about? You look
totally
fantastic.
Fine.
You look fine. You look great. I love it. So this piece with Danielle and I has been really like an exercise for me this year in a big way, particularly the last like 3 months.
Well, I was going to say, to answer your question, it's different when you at nighttime, if you're not like in a needy space, it makes me feel more like, how do I word this? It makes me feel more safe. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm sure he's down to have sex right now, but you're not coming in the room like, all right, it's time.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, but then there's also times too where like I want you to feel safe enough to be like, hey, I'd like to have sex tonight. I'm like, okay, great. You know, but I feel more safe when your energy is like coming into like, just cuddle me, hang out, like whatever. Then I'm like more open to like, oh, okay, I'm open to this happening. But when you come in with the energy of like, we're going to get this done, I'm like, oh, really?
Okay, so here comes another question for you two. Jess, you're doing great. Usually we have always great female guests, but you two are vibing as good. And this topic literally is fresh off of an event I did last week.
Oh, nice.
And this was all my guys were talking about this. We're modeling it out. Everybody's trying to figure out the dynamic, because once you crack it, like you guys are cracking it, we're cracking it. There is a soul sex available and a connection available that is beyond orgasm for me. Which I want guys to taste this. At first, I was like, I just want you to have sex. Now it's like, oh, no, I want you to taste this. But this dynamic of unpacking this is the hard part. Okay, so there's a certain element in which you want us to be masculine, which means we contain and we take you. Mm-hmm. What fucks that up?
Oh.
Because watch the dynamic. Well, it's like there's moments where you're like, you're not really in, you're not really out, but there's a piece of you wants me just to handle it. Meaning not handle myself in a bathroom. I mean, take you. Not aggressively, physically. I'm just saying, I'm going to not listen to any of your answers. You and I are going to have a good time. Right. You're beautiful. I love that you think we're not doing this, but we're doing this. And you're going to love every second of what I do on you right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then, but because we played through this dynamic where she's like, well, why can't you just act like, where's my trainer from the Warrior events? And I was like, well, two things. One, they're paid students and they have signed up for this. And number two, they listen to everything I say.
Right. Oh,
they don't stand up and say, I don't like this process. I don't like where this is going. Like, sit down. You paid $10,000 to be here. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
So, but you two have like a power button, which you can be like, eh. So how does Ray have to show up, Jessica, so that you would be, even if you have had oversensitive touch from the kids all day long and he's like, hey, I'm coming home tonight and this is happening. You've had these moments. It's like, what has to be different to where it doesn't feel like it's rude or it's pushy, but there's actually a no to a yes? You're coming to this question next, Danielle.
It's such a good question. This might be a silly answer, but it's an honest answer. When he puts the kids to bed for me, I have a renewed energy. Like, I don't want him to do it every night because I love putting them to bed. But at the same time, like, it's a process. It takes a long time. At the end of the night, I'm exhausted because they've told me no 50,000 times. And I've been, the warrior mom coming in here trying to get things done. And then I've got to now relax and like just be taken. Yeah. I'm like, no, I just want to watch my show. But if you do some of those acts of service for me before and give me some time to get myself like ready and energized and like relax for a little bit. Like if I get a little bit of me time at the end of the night, then I'm much more game, and I feel like for me and for you will go in a different direction.
I think that's the secret though, especially if you have young kids. Like you just said something like, we at the end of the long day, even if we're just with kids or whatever, like I feel like we're overstimulated. Yeah. And it's funny because he'll be like, why, you were overstimulated. Why are you now on your phone and watching a show? Isn't that like more stimulating? I'm like, no. It's like, for me, it's like relaxing.
It's like me time.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. You're like, I don't care if I'm scrolling on Instagram and watching a movie at the same time. Like, I need this for me. Yeah. And I think if we can step away, because like for me, like sometimes the kids, like it does something to my nervous system almost, like where I can't physically relax. Like, I got a 3 and a 6-year-old they're in that age where they're just crazy. So it's like, for me, I need my, like, literally just to, like you said, relax. And then it's like, okay. And if he puts the kids to bed, I'm like, hey. I'm like, even though I appreciate he puts the kids to bed, like, I'm more open to it versus, like, otherwise it's a shit show with kids. Yeah.
Okay, so we saw another one. We're doing good on this, Wes. 1 or 2 more questions and we're good. We had Susan Bratton here, the sex therapist that was here on the show. And she was talking about this dynamic that 90% of the time women do not feel that are not going to ever be in the mood. Mm-hmm. But
90%
meaning
of
they're not going to initiate.
Oh.
And 10% of the time they will initiate. But you can always get a woman to warm up. But most are never ready to go until they warm up, right? You were kind of speaking of that. Danielle's spoken of that too. Ray, from your side, how often do you want to see her initiate? Like knowing that most initiation is coming from our side, how often do you want her to initiate? Or is that not even a thing if she initiates a lot?
She does not initiate. I can't recall the time you've initiated. I would like it. I think about these things, but I don't think I've ever experienced it.
Do you know that this of the greatest fantasies for all men, not one dude off the radar on this one, because we think in our minds that you guys actually are like us.
We're not.
We know this, but in our minds, there's a part of us who wants to come home being like, it's such a hard day at work today. And all of a sudden you come rolling out of the kitchen. You're in a thong with heels on, and we're like, what? You are getting it right now, whether you want or not. Do not tell me no. And we'll be like, no, please don't tell me.
Stop.
You've initiated, but that came after me going cold turkey, no initiation, and then you saw that was the only way to get it.
I went through probably a solid 5 years because he felt so rejected for so many years, and to the point where we almost ended our marriage. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was making you feel this way, that you were feeling rejected. This had such a toll on our marriage. And so I was like, I'm going to make an effort to be the initiator. And so for years, I was the initiator. And then I kind of got to this place where I'm like, can we split this? Because it was a lot of pressure on me. I was like, I hold the sex card. I don't want to hold the sex card. That's too much pressure. And so then I kind of backed off. But then it's in a space too where then it's I don't want you to feel rejected again. But it's a circus. It's a circus.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a thing, and it's interesting because Danielle didn't initiate for a very, very long time, and now she's kind of back into it. I don't initiate phase. Yeah.
I think I got into a phase where I was always the initiator, and I was just
I don't know why, but it's very uncomfortable for me. There's so many things that are open in our marriage, but it's just I don't know why. I have no idea why. I'm sure it'll come up in some way, shape, or form at some point through some coach.
Well, Danielle didn't really initiate until she did bodybuilding.
I think
with her fitness competition, brought confidence and certainty to her being in a bikini on stage.
I initiated before that.
Not
after as much, but yeah. But I think it was
interesting.
But for me, I think that's what we're taught is the guys initiate, the girls don't. That's not our role, And so for me, when I started to get in really good shape, it turned kind of fun. I liked that but then it got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of always being the initiator. So there's definitely a balance to that. But I can't imagine for a girl, when is he, I think he rejected me twice ever,
Yeah. For 10 years.
For 10, yeah. He maybe, I can't imagine for a guy, his wife's I'm too tired. I have a headache. The toddlers are crazy. You guys get rejected. You're probably going to bat 50-50. You don't know.
No. It's more we're MLB baseball players. Okay. In the Major League Baseball, if you can get a hit 2 out of 10 times, they call you a pro.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at the psychology from a guy's side though. We are in a world in business where we refuse the no. If we accepted no in the business space, we'd have no money. Mm-hmm. So we're constantly reframing, finding new ways. Oh, you're no, fine. I'll get a yes over here. It's weird for us in marriage though because we've chosen one water bottle. It's not like I can choose another water bottle. Right, I'm like, oh, you're not going to give me a Dasani? Fine, I'm going to go get a Voss.
Yeah.
In business, we can just move.
Yeah.
So the complexity in our brain, this is why guys screw this up so much, though, because there's no blueprint on how you're supposed to think. We're creating a blueprint right now talking.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how to think. I'm like, oh, you don't want to work for me? That's fine. Goodbye. You're replaced. New person.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to be a contract with our company now? That's fine. Goodbye. New contract.
Yeah.
With kids and wife, it's oh, you don't want to sign the contract?
I'm going to go work. Again.
I'm going to go do another deal, which is why guys end up isolating away, pouring so much into the business. Women feel scarred and unseen. Men don't know how to bridge the gap. I'll just make more money, buy her more shit, make more money, buy her more shit, go on the magical sex vacation, then we'll go back to the desert for a while. It's super confusing, which is what you were going through and I was going through too for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, we're in a different place. We're opening communication now.
Yeah.
So last question. What's the most exciting thing you two are excited to explore in each other? It doesn't have to be sexual. Just Jessica, what's something you would like to see open up for you two as a couple, knowing you've gotten to an amazing place after 18 years?
What's the next level?
Yeah, and the same question for you. What's the thing you want to see open up between you two that's maybe already there that you just would like deeper and more passionately, or isn't even there yet?
I think that for us, like there's such a new chapter opening with Ray's joy coming back, or maybe being there, like true joy, true presence for the first time. So I'm really looking forward to this season as not only a husband, but as a dad, because the last several, not even vacations, but maybe staycations or little things that we've done with the kids, I've just noticed him showing up in a much different way. So I'm really excited to see his presence and joy come back, because really, I think throughout our whole marriage, that's all I've been seeking.
Wow. Wow. Hey, well done.
Yeah.
That just to be acknowledged for it and then also
For sure.
see it, bro, that's huge work on your own.
For sure.
And Ray, what's one thing for you? What are you excited about seeing open up for you two?
Me initiate.
Well, now you got a 2-hour drive talking about the initiation side.
It is awkward at first, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we have a chance to do this all over again, but very differently. In that, you know, in the past, I was chasing success because I was trying to find like what's going to make me feel better about me. Now it's just very different, and you know, the Lord talks to her differently than than me, and just for this new future of what that actually looks like with God, because I didn't grow up in the church, I didn't know any of that stuff, and so it's just so different. And you know, there's freedom in my business now, which I never felt like I had freedom. There's, you know, there was one last piece that it was frustrating to me with our relationship, and figured that out last week. And so, like, I don't know, I'm just really excited about our future to go and achieve more, but in a very different way. And just impact people in a very different way. And so I'm just excited what God's doing for us.
Beautiful.
And with us.
Beautiful. Danielle?
Like, what am I excited for this next chapter season?
Yeah.
I think what I've seen in you in the last year is your immovability. Is that a word? Like you're less willing to you're like just more grounded. Like I can say something stupid and you in the past might have reacted, and now you just like hold space, and it's very attractive. It's very like mature. It makes me feel safe. And what I keep getting is that God needs you to be that man because of where he's going to take you and where he's going to take us. You have to be immovable. And so it's a fun chapter. It seems kind of scary, but I feel like there's this calm in you that I haven't seen. And it feels like the version of that you have always been is like literally like emerging. It's kind of like how I met you, but then life and kids and everything got chaotic, and I feel like it's just been a really powerful year to watch you, like I said, just kind of like hold space.
Thank you. I receive that. And the thing I'm excited about is inside that immovability is an emotional river in you that's come out of feeling safe to share your hurt, your pain, your scars from the past, and to be able to own that truth, which has been something that I wasn't the kind of guy that could hear it.
I think as women, a lot of times, I don't know if you feel this, but like, I don't want to share because I'm like, oh, he's providing and I don't want to like ruffle the feathers. I don't want to, I'm always the one I'm strong for the kids. I'm strong for the husband. And I'm sure the guys feel the same way, to where you get this point where you're like, I've got to tell somebody or talk to somebody. And so now it feels like we can communicate better, and that I don't have to like always be like picture perfect, because that's not how life and marriage works.
Yeah.
You two were great.
Aww.
This was a better show.
It was better.
This was a better show.
Yeah, for sure.
The last one was great. This was better.
I feel like a lot of couples listening to this they'll really relate to the conversations and the honesty that we all had.
Yeah, and thank you both for sharing. 'Cause it's
thank you.
super
You got
helpful.
it. You did wonderful, Jessica. You killed it.
Thank you.
We're excited to see your initiator come out.
Yeah.
And Ray, congratulations on all the work, man. Like this
Thank
is
you.
the personal work. This is what I stand for. It's what I live. It's
Yeah.
what I've helped thousands and thousands of guys figure out. And there's very few who are figuring it out.
Yeah.
And that's where marriages are burning to the ground, why affairs are happening, why addiction's running rampant, because people just can't, the guys cannot find the path. So continue being a light that you are, shining the way you are, and being the example that you are. And you two as a couple are beautiful. You're amazing. We appreciate you coming down here twice.
Thank you.
We had to warm up. We had to put the kids to bed before the second show. That's what we did. That was our first episode. And babe, great job. You want to close out?
Yeah, sure. All right, you guys, if you are listening to this podcast, share it. If you find it's going to help somebody else or another couple might be going through the same thing, share this podcast. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. And we'll see you on another episode of the Date You Right podcast.